is up, you all? We are back with another Stranger Things Season 5 video. Before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So to get into everything, I want to talk about what we can possibly see in Stranger Things Season 5 regarding like plot details and certain characters and things like that from clues we're putting together. Also talking about what is next for us to see when it comes to Stranger Things, maybe a teaser, some photos. So starting off, you all know I've been day one with this theory about Will Byers being possessed and teaming up with Vecna. So we seen in season 4 at the end, he kind of grabs his neck and he says he basically, still feels Vecna. Now, pushing forward with this theory, I think this theory is definitely going to happen like 100%. This is just me speculating, but I think that it all aims up to be that where basically Will Byers is going to be Team Vecna because he feels that his friends have turned their backs on him. They haven't, been friends lately how he usually was. Going all the way back to like the Dungeons and Dragons days, we saw Mike and Will's friendship kind of just crumble, and now he has a girlfriend. They're all having their own lives, and he's like crying out for help silently, and he doesn't have any help. Now, I think that a lot of things are going to make Will do this, being that he feels that he doesn't have no one. He's alone. He's by himself. And maybe Vecna steps in to give him that strength and kind of give him like a talk saying like, think about it. I've always been there for you. Always felt me. I've always been there. You might as well come, with me. And the friends, they, you don't need them. They don't like you anyways. Basically trying to just kind of manipulate Will Byers. You know what I'm saying? And I can see him being possessed and working with Vecna. I can even see Will actually hurting one of his friends actually. But I think it won't be anything where he actually, he's like that through the whole season. I think it's going to be like something towards the middle or like the final act he's going to get converted. Or maybe it's something where it starts off a little light where he's kind of like a spy for Vecna. And then eventually we see it like domino to where we see Will Byers. He's getting darker and he's saying, crazy things to his friends. And he's kind of, almost like setting them up. I can see Will Byers actually setting his friends up for Vecna, like bringing them to a spot where Vecna asks him to bring them or something like that. Either way, I don't think Will Byers is making it out of season 5. I think it's going to be something where he ends up, being that sacrifice, because for real, if you really think about it, the answer is right there. Everything surrounding 11 and Will Byers, being that, 11 opened the gates and Will Byers is the one that kept the connection going with Vecna and the Upside Down. So in order for this to end, something has to shake where they defeat Vecna, number one, or 11 or Will ends up having to die, because it's no other way out of this. I think that Will Byers actually is going to die because I feel like they never teased anyone's death really, but like Will Byers, especially like in the earlier seasons when we see the body get brought out of the water, we find out it's a fake body, it has cotton in the inside. I think the fact that that really wasn't Will Byers, it's showing kind of like they're willing to go there with Will. I think that, to be honest, I think that Will is going to die, and this time it's going to really be him, and they might give us a flashback when they were like younger and seeing that moment like, no, this time it's really Will, like he's gone. I think that would be bone chilling. Do you hear me? I think that would be so bone chilling and just sad. I think people are going to drop tears behind that. And the Duffers already talks about Will Byers is going to be the main character in Stranger Things Season 5. I think it only makes sense for him to be the main character because Will Byers is Stranger Things. He is the story. He is the Upside Down. Everything surrounds Will Byers if you think about it. Without no Will Byers, we don't have no Upside Down. We don't have this. He was just like a big part of this group wanting to seek out information and find out what's going on because of Will Byers went missing. Now, pushing forward, we know about an episode that's possibly going to either be the vanishing of Jane Hopper, which I think is going to be. I used to think it was going to be the vanishing of Holly Wheeler. Maybe it could still be that. But I think it's going to kind of repeat a cycle. And then that's how Will is going to get back involved and things like that. I think someone's going to go missing or vanishing for a while. And we hear about something on that poster with Jane Hopper about how she goes missing towards the Hawkins High School and things like that. I think that that can definitely be something, but I can be wrong. We know that we left off in season 4 with Max being in a coma. She's not moving or anything. We see her friends are starting to come visit her. I think that it's going to be a lot of hospital scenes, especially surrounding Max. I told you all in previous videos, I think that we're going to see a lot of Max in her conscious, and only person who's going to be able to visit her is like 11 or Vecna. And I don't think she's going to die or nothing like that. Or it can be something, I thought about this too. What if when we get back into season 5, actually Max is healing, she's up, but she's not the same Max. You know, I've been saying that she's not the same Max, and she's different, she's darker, and you know, she's actually working for Vecna, kind of similar to Will Byers. Or actually, I think Max can get out the coma, and then she can warn her friends about Will Byers, because with Max being connected to Vecna with the coma and everything, she knows what Will Byers and Vecna has going on. I think that can make sense, and it can actually be a great plot twist, being that the whole time Max is not a spy for Vecna, she's a spy for her friends. So it could be something where they're setting Vecna up, or you know what I'm saying, it could be anything. I think mainly though, when we do see Max Mayfield, it's going to be through her conscious, it's going to be through, you know, 11, because they've done that before, but I can be wrong. I don't think we're going to see her the whole season in the coma. If anything, we're going to see her get out of the coma like towards either the middle act or the end, and I think that she's going to be healing. If the Duffers have a period on them to take out Max Mayfield in season 5, that is insane. She already lost her brother. We damn near seen her get took out in season 4. I think that they're not going that route, sadly. I don't think they're going to do that. They're not that bold, but I mean, maybe they are. They're saying, you know, at this point it's the end, so anything can happen. But I think that, like I said, one of the older kids might get took out, possibly. I think if Will dies, Jonathan's not going to die. He's going to have to stay there for Joyce. Like, I think out of the older kid group, it could be Steve Harrison and Will, and then, you know, I think it's going to be one from each group. That's what I think personally. That's just me. But I think that 11 can actually get took out too. She can make her sacrifice. And speaking of sacrifice, we heard rumors about Calie actually returning, which is 11's sister. And we seen that 11 didn't want to, you know, stay around her and things like that. She wanted to go back to her friends in Hawkins. We did know also that 8 was a bad guy. So I said this in previous videos. People said they think that, you know, 11 and Calie can see each other again. Calie can return and help 11 with Vecna. But what if actually Calie is the one that teams up with Vecna? She was a bad guy anyways, you know what I'm saying? So maybe when Vecna explains to her everything, especially if he shows her their past, like, you know, I was always there, I'm one, you know, and maybe she gravitates to him because she feels that, you know, he knows how to use his powers, he's strong. You know, Calie really, you know, praises that type of stuff when someone is strong and everything. So maybe, yeah, it can be something along the lines where basically we see Calie actually working with Vecna, and she has to go up against 11 at a point, and we get a flashback to that scene where she's teaching 11 how to project her powers out of anger and things like that, and she defeats her own sister, and then once she defeats her, it becomes a thing where she turns back to Team 11, and then she's going up against Vecna, and maybe Calie is the sacrifice. Maybe Callie's one of the characters that's going to die. You know, maybe Callie's going to be one of those characters. I know right now people are not feeling that character, but maybe she has so much, you know, development in season 5. When she does die, it hurts us in the way she dies. It's probably in a heroic way to save her sister and her friends. Or it can be Will Byers with the sacrifice. I think it could be either way. I really think this could potentially happen. I don't know why, especially with the state of Hawkins, with everybody in the army, the ground cracking, the upside down, bleeding through. I think, yeah, it can get to that point where Calie returns. Either way, I know they're going to defeat Vecna, but I think once they defeat Vecna, we're not going to have a lot of cast members left. A lot of them are going to be injured. I think it's going to be a lot of planning around it. I mean, obviously, like I said, we got the military involved. We got Linda Hamilton, David Harbour as Hopper. I think a lot of things are going to get brutal towards the end. Like, it's going to be one of those, and it's like on some Avengers Endgame type of stuff, and it's going to hurt us bad. I'm preparing. They already have been teasing it, like Millie Bobby Brown, Maya Hawke, everybody's been teasing in the interviews that ending is literally insane. I mean, we already knew that though, especially after season 4, and I think we're going to drop a lot of tears, man. That's what I think is going to happen. Those are the plot details I feel that can likely just happen, especially with Will Byers kind of just teaming up with Vecna. I think that's very solid and fluid. And I think that 11 and Will are going to have a moment also. Like, I don't know if it's going to be good or it's going to be bad. It can be good good with them just basically understanding it's them that's making all this happen, or it can be bad where Will's going up against 11 because he feels that she's the one who changed everything and messed up his life whole time. Maybe they go back and flashback when she opened the gate where, you know, Will goes into the shed with the rifle and he feels that it's 11's fault. His life is messed up and it creates anger. Maybe, you know, Vecna manipulates him to believe in all of that. Also, I think we're going to get our first Stranger Things season 5 look, our first look at the Tudum event May 31st. Of course, everybody's thinking that. I mean, it's the obvious way to go. I think we're going to get like a teaser and just possibly a release date. That's what I think. I think it's going to be just a little teaser showing us some scenes, some edited footage, some music behind it. And we're going to get that crazy teaser. From there on, I think promotion and everything can start. And the Stranger Things train is, you know, up and running. And I can't wait, man. You all, if you follow the channel, you know this is my #1 thing I'm looking forward to this year. I cannot wait. I'm scared. I'm happy. I'm just so many things behind season 5. It's my favorite show of all time. I can't wait, y'all. We're going to be covering all things Stranger Things season 5 here. Don't worry about it. And it's going to be crazy, man. But I want to say this. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Everything you're doing. This channel is going crazy right now. Definitely make sure you're subscribed. We're on a road to 50,000 subscribers. And yeah, man. With that being said, more Stranger Things season 5 content coming soon. And I will see you all in the next video, man. Peace.